we have a responsibility as God-led entrepreneurs to change the story that we hold around money so that we can increase our price. And the way that we do that is to increase the value, but not the external value. That is a given. You need to be good at what you do. But that's mostly not the problem. The problem is people are way better at what they do than what they're charging for. So the value that actually needs to change is your interior value. In other words, how you see yourself. Okay, time and time again. So I work with people who are entrepreneurs. I work with people in a system called the Gene Keys, two different worlds, although they do have some overlap, a lot of overlap, all the overlap. And I get to see this time and time again, where people are interested in giving away their thing. They're interested in, it's under the guise of feedback. It's under the guise of reciprocity. But in reality, there's a part of these people that want to be able to do this for a living. And if you are constantly giving things away, clearly you're not going to be able to do this for a living. And the reason that you are doing this is because you don't believe in what I call infinite value. So that is you. You are infinitely valuable because you are made in the image of God. You have a divine shard inside of you. You are a being that has immense power and immense capacity, immense ability to heal yourself and the world. But there's a part of you that doesn't believe this infinite value. And that part comes from the fact that we have been taught, we have been trained that our value comes from what we do, not from how we are or how we can be in the world. And as long as you don't believe in your infinite value, you are going to give stuff away. You are going to undercharge constantly, consistently. And what undercharging does is it leads to a lack of leverage. And that means that you are not making enough money to be able to support yourself, to be able to live in the world in a way that allows you to take chances, in a way that allows you to feed your soul, to do your studies, if the price is too low. And I've seen, $7 products to $47 products to $197 products to $497 products. All of these, if you are in the info space, meaning you are trying to provide education to people, you're trying to be a mentor, a guide, you're trying to walk people through a transformation, first of all, why do they all end in a 7 all the time? Second of all, none of these offers will have enough leverage that allows you to grow and experiment and fulfill and feel whole. So we've got to figure out a way to improve your value, for you to believe that you do not need here it comes, you ready? A course. You are what's valuable. You are what determines a high price. A course, yes, a course is worth these things. The data on courses is miserable. I don't know if you have seen it, but it's something like 80% of people don't make it past 50% of the course completion. And it's something like 94% or 97% of people don't finish the course. So yeah, that's not valuable. That's not helpful. You, on the other hand, are extremely helpful. And what we need to figure out is where is the overlap between your infinite value and what the market is willing to bear in order for you to be able to express that value. And because the market is going to need to put a number on it. The market is not going to accept infinity for your value. However, instead of trying to shove ourselves down into this little box and trying to come up with something that the market deems acceptable, if you are willing to be bold, if you are willing to be yourself, if you are willing to claim what it is God put you here for, you can hold that frequency and you can expect the market to come up and match your price. Because a really important thing to understand is that price and value are not aligned very often. Price does not equal value. Value is conveyed in the story that we are able to tell. Value is conveyed in the depth at which we can communicate, at which we can touch people's hearts. These things, if we can convey them, we can charge a high price, but we have to be able to express our value, and that comes from purity. That comes from truth. That comes from being rooted in yourself. If you are not those things, people are going to be able to see through it in a heartbeat. So let me give you an example of this. Okay, first one, Beanie Babies. Remember these things? I'm dating myself here a little bit. I turned 40 literally this week. Okay, so Beanie Babies, they were like these little sacks of like a little bean bag, right? And when they came out, I don't know what they were, $10, $15, $20. However, because people told a story about them, because people were connected to them, a collector's market started to form around it, and the price went through the freaking roof because price does not reflect value. It was some material with some garbage in it, but the story was strong. Or another example here is PlayStation. So when the original PlayStation came out, or maybe it was PS2, I don't know, I don't remember, it doesn't matter. It was around Christmas, and obviously, I think this still happens, but I'm old, I don't know for sure. All of them sold. And so this secondary market popped up, and they were selling for hundreds or thousands of dollars because people couldn't get their hands on them. And so again, price was not reflected of the actual thing because Sony knew that it could charge whatever, $200, $300, $400, but they're selling for thousands because price and value do not directly overlap. It is all based on much deeper factors than that and the interplay between a lot of other things. Now, next piece. If you are a spiritual or God-led entrepreneur, you probably get upset or pushed down, or at the very least have a weird relationship with the fact that you have a desire for money. That unfortunately, a lot of people think that this makes them less spiritual. That if you make more money, that you are taking from somebody else. But the reality of the situation is desires are put into our heart by God. There is a reason that you feel that desire. And it helps us to take action in the outer world. It helps us to move. And whether that is the achievement of the actual desire, or it's just that it sent you on a path that you needed to get to the other side of. Doesn't matter though. Like, it is a good thing that you have desires. It is a good thing that you want the beach house, that you want the Lamborghini. There is nothing wrong. You're not taking from another individual by you having more. That is the definition of scarcity. And we say in spirituality how abundant we are all the time, but with this particular thing, people really struggle. They really let go. They really think that I, having more, am taking from you. But in reality, you having more is like a beacon for people. It's like, oh, look at this person who puts love first, who trusts themselves, who lives in their pure intention and from their heart, and look at the abundance that is in your life. That's a magnet for people. People are going to want to do the thing that you are doing, which is coming to God, coming back home. So receive, and everyone is going to receive different things, and everyone's desires are going to be different, and everybody, some people need a little, some people need a lot. And you'll know that as your journey progresses and as it moves. But the only way, one of the only ways that we are going to be able to fulfill those desires is to increase our price, to be able to say a bigger number. The problem with that is whatever number you say here, your nervous system has to be in a place that matches the number that you are saying. If you are selling something right now that's like $200, what I am going to recommend right now is that your price for an information-based product, for something that you are trying to help people through a transformation, help them see different things, you can do that for no less than $3,000. That is like the bare minimum of what is necessary to be able to show up in the energy that you need to show up in, so that you are the person that can deliver value that can actually change a person's life. On top of that, this investment leads to energetic buy-in from the other as well as from you. $3,000 is enough money that people feel the pain of inaction. People ultimately, when they pay you, are paying in betting for themselves. And if they are not doing that, that's a huge problem. You've got to make sure that people understand. People who want to work with you, they are doing the work. You are a reflection. You are a mirror. You are a guide. You are a loving heart. Someone that knows that they're going to get to the other side when they forget. And that $3,000 number is enough. However, you have got to do the work that allows you to say $3,000 when somebody asks how much it costs, and then sit there with your mouth shut. That is one of the most important parts of the sales process. After you say the price, you are silent. No justifying, no offering, payment plans, none of that. We just wait so that the other person can process. And if you've done the rest of the sales appointment appropriately, they're not going to have any questions, because you have already asked them over and over and over again, do you have any questions? Do you understand? Does this make sense? And so at this point, they just need to decide, is this worth it or is this not worth it? But if you get all squirmy and weird and you have a hard time saying this number, the other person is going to think that you don't think it's worth it, because you don't. So we've got to figure out what is the number that stretches you, but is something that your nervous system can handle. And this will increase relatively quickly. So as you make a sale at a certain price that makes you slightly uncomfortable, you'll realize, maybe there's more here than I thought. And next time I can say a slightly higher price, until we get to a place where you have enough to be able to spread God. So when we can get our price appropriate, when we are charging enough for what we are worth, that allows us to call in resources. And those resources, I don't know about you, I put this video on my Instagram yesterday that was Steve Irwin, the crocodile hunter. And Steve Irwin was talking about how much money he wants to make. And he said, I try and make so much money, as much as I can possibly make. And you know what I'm going to do with all that money? I'm going to buy land. I'm going to buy as much land as I can get. And I don't care whose money it is. My money, your money, people who donate money. I'm buying land so that I can save the animals. I'm buying land because that's what matters to me. And if you are a God-led entrepreneur, you are here to spread God, and we need resources in order to do that. So yes, receive. Get to your people. Know your worth, and the right people are going to show up. Last idea that I want to talk about here is my mentor told me about this. His name's Xander. He's awesome. He has a group called Creative Sovereignty on School. You should check it out. I can't remember if the book is called this or if this is just the idea. But value-based fees are how we need to think about pricing what we are doing. So what value-based fees is an understanding that people are not paying for time. They're not paying for how long you are spending with them. What they are paying for is a transformation or an outcome of some kind. Okay? This transformation or outcome is what we need to charge for. So the example that I always use here is I used to own a gym, and a woman came in and she sat down across from me and she told me I cannot sleep with my husband because I hate my body so much. That was hard to hear. I'm sure it was even harder for her to say. What is that worth though? What is it worth for me to take this woman and to work with her deeply so that she can know her own value as a human, and yes, maybe lose some external weight if she feels like that is important. That's not how I saw the work, certainly. But if I can get that for her, and I can bring her husband closer together with her, and if I can bring her self-respect back, what's that worth? A lot. Thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars. And that's what we charge for, not the 3 hours a week that I was with this lady doing workouts and coaching her and guiding her and helping her. An easier example maybe to help get this message across is, let's say, like, this is more of a businessy example. Let's say you're working with a company and the thing that you make for them generates $100,000. And let's say that it took you 10 hours. Well, obviously, 10 hours of work, like, you might be able to charge, what, $500 an hour, $1,000 an hour maybe, if you're like a true expert, really good at what you're doing. But it only took you 10 hours. So at $500, that's $5,000. That is 5% of the value that you created. That is not enough. We need to capture at least 10%, maybe more, of that process. And to do this, we have to make sure that people understand this, that they're not paying for your time, that they're paying for the outcome. Because if they think it's about time, they are incentivized to go fast, you are incentivized to go slow, and that is the exact opposite of what is necessary, the energetics that we want to bring into a transformational process. All of these things are changed by raising the price of your product. I am telling you, it will solve so many of your problems if you just add a zero to the thing that you are charging. And yes, it's easy to say and hard to do, but it is the thing that will give you leverage. It is the thing that will shift your life and shift your business. So figure out how to do it. Okay, that felt long and good, I guess. I've got a group of people that do this work together. It is called the Synarchy, the free one, and I also have a paid one if you are interested in digging in, but get to know me first. I don't expect you to want to dive in that with just this one video. Hang around, see what else I have to say. I've got another channel that's focused on the Gene Keys. Yeah, thanks for being here today. I'll put links in the description. Check them out. Lots of love. Go raise your prices, make a bunch of money, spread God.